A human boy walked an injured alien prince home. Never guessing, he'd saved an heir to a galactic throne. The rain had turned the town streets into shimmering ribbons when 14-old Daniel Harper noticed something strange by the old bus stop. A figure curled beneath the flickering light and trembling barely upright. It wasn't a person. Not exactly. The shape was too slender, the limbs too elongated, and when the being lifted its head, and Daniel saw eyes unlike anything human, silver irises shifting like liquid metal. Daniel froze. The alien flinched as if bracing for a blow. Please, it whispered. I require assistance. Daniel looked around. No cameras, no teachers, no adults. Just him and this trembling being that looked like it hadn't eaten or slept in days. What happened? Daniel asked softly. A fall, the alien said. My name is Sale, but the way it winced when trying to stand told Daniel that fall wasn't the full story. Every day Sale was limping badly, one arm hanging tight against its ribs. Injury, maybe broken bones. Daniel didn't know. He didn't ask. Here, Daniel said. Get on, I'll carry you. The Sale blinked as if stunned by the offer. You would transport me without knowing what I am? Daniel shrugged. You're hurt, that's enough. With surprising caution, Sale leaned onto his back. Daniel stood, adjusting the alien's slight but unfamiliar weight, and began walking through the rain. The town was small, quiet, and painfully ordinary. That made the night feel stranger. As Daniel carried Sale through the empty streets, he felt the beings breathing against his neck, thin, shaky, frightened. Is someone chasing you? Daniel asked. For a moment, Sale didn't answer. I escaped. Daniel didn't press. Whatever Sale was running from, it wasn't good. He could feel that in the way Sale clutched his shoulders. The rain grew heavier, turning alleys into muddy streams. Daniel kept walking. You humans, Sale murmured suddenly. Air unpredictable? In a good way or bad way? I do not know yet. Daniel laughed under his breath. By the time they reached the wooded outskirts of the town, Daniel's arms were shaking. Sale's weight was small, but the walk was long. He stumbled once, nearly falling, but Sale tightened his grip, helping him adjust. You're stronger than you look, Sale whispered. And you're lighter than you look, Daniel shot back. Sale made a sound, a tiny chime-like laugh, that felt impossible from someone who looked so fragile. As they reached an old drainage tunnel, Sale tapped Daniel's shoulder. Here, the alien said. This is far enough. Daniel lowered him carefully to the ground. You sure? No. Sale's silver eyes softened. You have already done more than I could have asked. The air changed. A hum vibrated through the tunnel. A shape shimmered into existence, a massive vessel hidden behind a cloaking field. Elegant, crescent-shaped, and with blue lines pulsing like veins of light. Daniel stepped back, stunned. You've got to be kidding me. From the ship's opening descended 3 armored beings, their suits marked with symbols glowing like molten gold. Every day, their movements were sharp, coordinated soldiers, every one of them. They froze when they saw Sale. Then they dropped to one knee. Prince Sale, the lead soldier said, voice trembling. We feared you had been taken. Daniel blinked. Prince. Sale turned to him. I regret deceiving you. My fall was an assassination attempt. I fled before they could finish the task. Daniel's throat went dry. Your royalty. Sale nodded heir to the Alarian Dominion, a territory spanning 103 star systems. Daniel swayed, suddenly aware of how casually he had carried this fragile, galactic hair on his back like a kid who'd sprained an ankle. The soldier seemed equally stunned by the sight. This human carried you? The lead one asked, disbelief clear. Yes, Sale said. He saved my life without hesitation, without fear, without even knowing my name. The soldiers stared at Daniel with a mixture of awe and concern, as though he held some impossible significance. Then Sale stepped forward, each movement slow, dignified. In my culture, Sale said, or a life saved binds a life in return. Your act is recognized. Your name will be protected within the royal registry. Daniel shook his head quickly. I didn't do anything special. You carried the future of a galaxy on your back. Sale said softly, you risked much with no guarantee of reward. That is rare, beautifully rare. A pulse of blue light swept over Daniel. A scan. A soldier spoke. He is clear. No tracking devices. No contaminants. Pure intent. Sale's silver eyes glowed brighter. Daniel Harper. Should you ever face danger, speak my name. The Dominion will hear you. Daniel swallowed. I'm just a kid, man. Perhaps. But your kindness altered the course of a dynasty. Sale reached out, placing a thin hand over Daniel's heart. A gesture of deep reverence. Thank you, Sale whispered. The soldiers helped the prince up the ramp. The ship's interior glowed like starlight condensed. Before stepping inside, one last time. Humans, he said softly, truly are unpredictable. The ramp closed. The ship shimmered, then vanished into the sky with a ripple that cut through the clouds like a blade. Daniel stood alone in the rain, clothes soaked. Breath shaky, he touched the spot where Sale's hand had rested. It tingled warm. He had no idea that across the galaxy, the Royal Council was already recording his name in their sacred archives. No idea that on distant worlds, star fleets would soon carry orders tied to the life of a human boy from a quiet town on Earth. And he definitely didn't know that he had just saved a prince, whose ascension would spark the greatest alliance humanity would ever know. For now, every day he simply walked home, unaware that an entire cosmos had shifted because he chose to help someone who looked lost and afraid at a bus stop. Sometimes, HFY didn't start with battles or heroics. Sometimes, it started with a boy offering a ride during the rain.